Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to dive right into our Titanic experience site. First thing I did was design out that cartoon animated landing page in Figma. Now Figma is a really great design tool if you're not familiar with it. It's all free. It's similar to Photoshop and like Adobe Sketch, InDesign sort of thing, but it allows you the same flexibility for no extra cost. You can do a lot of really cool things right on your own desktop. So let's just dive into that and get started, and I'll show you how I built it out. So if we go into Figma, once you set up your account, you'll see your projects and everything, and we're just going to create a new draft right over here. You can specify what size frame you want to use. That'll kind of be the palette for everything you're designing. You can do phone, desktop, whatever. So we can do desktop, we can click that, or you can just create a blank canvas, start from scratch. But if we do desktop, I'm going to resize it anyway, so I didn't even need to do that really, but this is fine. Just want to make it a little bit longer. Alright, and this sets the dimensions and the ratios of everything. So now that we've got our frame, first thing we're going to do, click up here, we can make some shapes. I'm going to click rectangle, and I'm just going to make two rectangles here. And just for reference, again, we're building out this guy here. So two rectangles going to make up the sky and the ocean. We'll tackle the iceberg and then the boat with all the details and our button. So if we're starting with the sky here, got a nice rectangle to fill the top half. I'm going to use a fill color here, and I've got a hex value of 60D7F1. Beautiful. And then let's get another rectangle on the bottom. You can just change the frame background color, but I'll just keep it as two rectangles instead. And then this guy is 1A587B. Beautiful. Nice navy color for the ocean. And we can name these two just to stay organized as we move along. So if you're highlighted on an element on your keyboard, you can press Command R for rename. Let's just name this one. Oop, this is the ocean, so ocean. And this guy is sky. Perfect. All right, so we've got the ocean and the sky. Let's tackle the iceberg here. So up here are all the different tools you can use. It's got the shapes, it's got pen and pencil, text, hand to grab things. There's lots of options, but the focus will be more on Webflow, not Figma. Maybe in the future I'll do a Figma video, but for now, just kind of breeze through this. And let's see, we're going to use our pen tool here. So this guy's great. It's kind of like a freehand drawing tool. Allows you to make shapes and whatever designs you want. So I'm just going to click once, click again, click, click, and sort of make an iceberg shape. And as long as all your points add up together, and you click done, it'll connect them all, and now we've got a vector. And this is our little beautiful iceberg taking shape here. So I'm going to name this Iceberg. And a nice little trick of Figma, if you want to center something in the middle of your document space, up here you'll see little icons, align horizontal centers, aligns it in the middle, perfect, and then you can just drag it down. You can also use your arrow keys to move things just pixel distances if you want to just subtly move things and play around with the spacing. I'll click this again in case it shifted. There we go. Great, so we've got our iceberg. Let's make sure we got that highlighted. Let's fill this in. We don't want gray. We want to make it a little more realistic and cool. So I'm going to use a linear color, which is two different colors blending into one. Let's see, first color will be white. The second color, let's use the sky color since it's sort of a reflection off the sky, right? There we go. And let's get rid of the stroke because it looks a little bulky. So this is our stroke outline. Just minus that away. Cool, looks a little better. Let's move this up one pixel. Nice, it's already coming together. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna tackle this beautiful Titanic boat. It's not a boat, I'm sorry, it's a ship. Captain Edward Smith and James Cameron would hate me. It's definitely a ship. I will try to refrain from using the word boat. It's an insult to Titanic's beauty. All right, so let's do our boat here. Oh, ship, I did it again. Okay, so we're gonna use a rectangle, and we're gonna use this. Let's see, this will be the bottom here. Make this a little taller. That's good. I can fill this in. This will be black. And then we can actually select each corner individually of this shape, and we can drag it in and manipulate it a little bit. So let's put these corners in, make a little, what is this, a trapezoid? Trapezoid shape? Rhombus? I don't remember. Rhombus is what, 4 sides? It's been a while since high school math and shapes, but that's all we need. This actually doesn't look equal. Let's make this a little longer. All right, let's make another one right on top here. This will be the top half of the ship, and it might be a little long. And we'll take the sides in just as we did the bottom. We might have to make this a little longer. Too long. Let's make this taller. All right, let's see what that looks like. You can also use, if you press plus on your keyboard, you can zoom in, which is great. Get a little closer look at what we're doing here, because it gets a little down to the pixel distances. That looks pretty good. Cool. All right, let's change the color of this, make this a little bit lighter. There we go. Nice. All right, let's name this guy top of ship. Ship, there we go. This is bottom of ship. Right, this just helps you moving forward, guys, just to stay a little organized, because later you're just going to see a bunch of rectangles and not know which one is referring to what. So if we get ahead of it now, it helps. All right, let's make our windows here. So if we go to our shape tool, we can select ellipse, which is just circles and ellipses. So you can drag and try to get the dimensions you want, or you can manually type over here, which is nice, just so it saves you the pain. 38 by 38 looks pretty nice. As long as they're equal, then it's a perfect circle. It looks pretty good. Let's make the fill color of this another linear color. We can do, let's see, white, and then maybe go light gray. Nice. And this might actually look good with the stroke here, but not something that intense. Let's make it like 0.1. Good. That gives it a little more dimension. Looks a little more realistic. And now, a nice little trick. We can just, with our circle selected, let's rename this window. We can just copy and Command V. Just paste all these. They just paste right on top of each other. So now we'll just move them out. And these little red numbers you see here, it's just the spacing in between. So it recognizes that you're using similar objects, and they help you stay in line with everything. So let's make sure they all stay 23 apart. This might be too many windows. How many did I do here? 3, 6, 9, 10. Okay, well, this is fine. Is there another one under here? No. All right, so let's copy this one, maybe 2 more times. 23, 23. There we go. Nice. Could even make this a little taller, I think. Now, our windows aren't exactly centered, so now if we, let's see, you select one of these, hold down Shift, and you can highlight them all. Command G, Command R. Command G groups everything into one group. Command R, you can rename them, so let's just make this whole group windows. And now it's comprised of all of those, but now when you select it, you can move them all around, which is very nice. So I'm just going to press up on my keyboard here, move them up a little bit. That red line indicates the center there, so it's perfect. Nice, coming together. Let's start our pillars now. Rectangle. Let's just make a big pillar right here. It looks all right. Maybe a little wider. No, it's, yeah, that's fine. All right, let's make this color, what color are these? These are supposed to be like beige, so let's go to our yellow. Let's just pick a nice beigeish color. That looks good. I'm gonna add another rectangle right up here. Make it a little smaller there. A little less tall. There we go. I'm gonna zoom in. Let's make this black. Is that what I did? Yeah. I'll add some dimension to it. Let's see. So you see how it's a little sharp and pointy at the tops? Let's make that a little bit smaller. So let's see. Let's give it So this is our radius tool up here. This will add some curvature to all the edges of whatever shape you're selected on. This would give it to all of them, but since we want to keep it flush along the sides, we're just going to affect the top and the top right and top left. So let's do 3, 3. That looks pretty good. Nice. All right, now let's add some shading to this guy to make it look a little more realistic. I'm going to take another rectangle here, just make it the full width. Move it over, and let's give it a fill color of black. That looks horrible. Let's change the opacity. So right here, this is how much light is coming through. So if we just lower that, all the other things that are beneath it kind of bleed through, and it gives it a nice shading effect. We can move this over so it's flush with that. And you see how that corner is poking out at the top? Let's give the same top left radius of 3 to this, so that way it blends right in. Nice. All right, so assuming our sun is on the right side here, it's casting a shadow, or the light and then the shadow in the back. Let's make another rectangle on the front side, maybe a little smaller. And this guy, let's make the fill color white. And again, we're just going to lower our opacity, give it a nice little sheen kind of glare as if the sun is hitting it from the front. Nice. And give the top right radius here of 3. Is that completely flush with that? Looks like it is. Nice. Look at that. Now it looks like it's 3-dimensional, popping off the page right in your face. And we're going to add a little bit of smoke now to give it some life. So not the pen tool, let's use the pencil tool this time. This is kind of the freehand drawing tool. I'm just going to make a squiggle and a squiggle. A little bit of smoke coming out of there. Let's go over here and rename this to smoke. We can rename this guy to smoke. Let's change the color of this. I think white would look a little better. Yeah, pops out a little bit. Great. And let's rename all these. So this was what? Our light shadow. This is our dark shadow. This was top of the pillar or smokestack. Top of smokestack. Oops. A smokestack. Bottom of smokestack. Nice. Alright, so now we've got our whole pillar done. Now we can just click on all the elements that make up the pillar. So let's see, it goes all the way through this. I held down Shift there, clicked. Now I'm going to do Command G to group, Command R to rename. And let's just make one singular group that is smokestack. And now let's do our fancy trick. Command C, Command V, V, V. Now we should get 4 of these guys. Let's make them all on top of here. 36, 36, and 36. Nice. All right, look at that. All of a sudden we have our Titanic ship. Super easy. It's great because you can only do things once pretty much, and then you only have to do things once, and then you just copy and paste depending on what kind of design you're going for, and it gives it all the life that you need. These look a little large though, so I'm gonna shrink them down. So let's see, I have one of them connected, selected. If you were to just drag and drop like this, it doesn't maintain the aspect ratio and it makes your design look pretty bad. So let's get rid of that. If you hold down Shift instead, you can maintain all the aspect ratio of everything you're trying to do. So let's just shrink all these down. You know, it might be even easier to delete these and just copy the new one that we just did, just so that it stays the same size exactly. 45 now, 45. Great. And then let's shift them all over just a little bit. I think that's a little more in perspective of what the real one would be. Awesome. Okay. And there's only one thing left. Let's just do this little button really quick up here. So it won't actually act as a button here, but it'll just be kind of the design reference. I'm just going to grab another rectangle. I'm going to do this. I can center this. And let's give it a background color of the ocean color. Let's give the radius of about 5 to all sides this time. Gives it a little more smoothing. I can take my text tool, click in here. Let's just write set sail. And I have this bad script font. Seems appropriate to early 1900s. Something fancy and bougie that Rose might use when writing a letter. And then just, let's see, we can increase this maybe, what, to 24? Sure. Fill color, white. Nice, that pops. Great. And that's it, you guys. Look at that. Only a few minutes, only a few components really. Some of them were just copied and pasted around. But it pops, I like it. It's just simple, it's color, it's sleek. And then one of the coolest things about Figma is you can export things as a file with a transparent background, which, you know, if you've worked in design or web design or anything, I mean, it's so hard to find transparent backgrounds. Sometimes you find the right image, but it's got this huge clunky white square behind it. And if you don't have Photoshop or the right tools, it can be hard to manipulate it the way you want it. So if we just go to, let's see, oh, well, we can clean up here really quick. So this will be our button, and then we can group these together to make it just one singular button. And then let's get all of the ship elements together. Group, rename, Titanic. Nice. Now we have Titanic selected. We've got the whole boat. We can fly the boat around. Woo! Bring it back. If you go to the bottom right here on Figma, you can click Export. It's got a few file options for you, SVG, PDF, whatever, but PNG is pretty good for us. If we just export Titanic, you've got a file that pops up. Boom. There we go. We've got a beautiful file. It's got a transparent background, and now we can put that into a design, anything that we're doing. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. It wasn't too complicated. Figma's a really great resource. I like to design things here, and this is just a simple cartoon example, but I did the rest of my site in Figma as well. You can do mock landing pages, mock designs for each of the pages of a website you're working on. So now the next video I'm going to show you how I translated this design into Webflow itself, how to build out the ship there, and just import it in, add some animations, make it look pretty. So if you want to see how that works, stick around. I will see you in the next one.